Hey, that MLM guy here with today's daily tip. This one is super important. Never, ever chase people. Always follow up. Remember that. Never, ever chase people. Always follow up. You never want to chase people, whether it's for purchasing your product or service or getting them involved with your MLM business. And the reason for that's very simple. If you chase somebody and you end up getting them, catching them, and they buy your product or service or they get started with their own business in your organization, that's immediately not the type of person that you want. Because once you've had to chase somebody and convince them, or you've annoyed them enough to where they finally try your product or service or get started in your business, then you're probably, almost definitely really, going to have to continually convince them to keep buying the product, keep using the service, or to, you're constantly going to have to be pushing behind them to keep them motivated in their business. Never, ever chase people. That's one thing that has given MLM a horrible name. But always follow up. And here's the difference. Following up with somebody is really simple. You just ask them if they're open for more information. So you send them an email, or you meet with them in person, or you call them on the phone and say, hey, at one time I heard you'd expressed an interest in making some money from home. Is that still the case? They'll say yes or no. And then you say, great, well, I have an opportunity for you. Would you be open to more information? And if they say yes, send them to your website, get them on a webinar, send them to a meeting, something like that. But if they say no, say, no problem. So what you're saying is I should just cross you off my list. You're not interested. And at that point, they're likely going to say, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then do it. Cross them off your list. Stop emailing them. Stop calling them. Stop harassing them. They're not interested. Now, some people do recommend that you keep those leads, and maybe you drip on them very slowly with an email campaign, or that you keep that list. Crossing them off the list, it doesn't have to be physically crossing them off. You can keep that list and get back with them in 6 months to a year just to see if you feel like maybe their situation has changed. But be sure you're not chasing them, okay? Don't be afraid to turn people away from your MLM business. In fact, you'll be better off for doing that. Always follow up. That's what it means. Are you open for more information? They'll tell you yes or no. Always give the follow-up, okay? If you invite somebody to a webinar or a conference call or a meeting and they don't show up, you're not chasing them to give them a call right then and there and say, hey, are you okay? We had a meeting scheduled, or hey, I noticed you weren't on the conference call tonight. Is everything going okay? And actually, you'll find pretty often something really did come up in their life. It might not be anything major, but something came up in their life. They did want to be a part of that webinar or conference call or whatever, and you can reschedule with them, okay? But never, ever chase people. Never chase, always follow up, and find that balance.